Hey guys, welcome back to What the Fat. This is your host, Dr. Ryan Lowery. And today, this is episode 99. How crazy is that? Episode 99. I feel like we just started this thing, and I'm super excited to continue having so many more episodes. We'll do something special for episode 100. We're working through the logistics on how we're going to do it, but I have something exciting, and you guys are definitely going to be a part of it for sure. But I'll share that with you, and you guys have to make sure you come back for episode 100 because it's going to be incredible. But today, I'm just going to warn you guys, there might be some background noise. They're working on the roof here at the ketogenic.com office, which is where I'm at, and they're working on the roof, so you might hear some drilling. But I want to talk about a really important topic, and it's something that's pretty relevant to some recent travels that I had. So last week I was with Josh Perry. You guys have heard him on What the Fat before. We had an incredible week. We did a lot of brain scans at the Amen Clinic, which you guys will see come out very soon on YouTube. You'll start to see my brain scans for those of you who are watching this on YouTube. You see my brains. Very, very interesting, and I'm excited to share with you all of the results and kind of what we found during our time at the Amen Clinic. But we spent a lot of time. Then from there, I went to FitCon, met some incredible people, caught up with some incredible people, and just had an amazing time. But what I want to talk about, the purpose of today's episode, is I want to talk about something very interesting, is what is the value you place on your time? I think a lot of people fall on either end of the spectrum. I think some people don't place enough value on their time, and I think some people place way too much value on their time. But the reason I want to bring this up is because I went through something and I was like, you know what, I got to share this with everyone because I like to keep it real and I like to just tell you guys some of the things that I'm experiencing and why I go through and why I do certain things. So I flew back from FitCon on a red eye. So I left on Friday night at about 9 o'clock Salt Lake City time and I flew to Fort Lauderdale. And I landed in Fort Lauderdale about 4:45 in the morning. And the minute I landed, I got a notification on my phone that my flight was delayed. It was supposed to take off at 5:45, so an hour later, but it got delayed by 3 hours. And it wasn't projected to take off now till like 8:45. And so I look at this and I'm like, damn, like that sucks. Like a 3 hour delay, like an hour delay is brutal, but like a 3 hour delay just sucks. Like I just flew, I didn't sleep at all. I knocked out a ton of work. I didn't sleep, but you know what? I wanted to do it for a reason. I wanted to get home early on Saturday morning because I had been traveling for a week. I'd been away and like I wanted to have the entire Saturday to spend with my family and Scoot. And I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I have an hour. My flight was supposed to take off in an hour, but now I have really 4 hours to kill. And I'm like, it's the first flight in the morning. What are the chances that this flight's going to get delayed? Now I'm stuck in Fort Lauderdale on a Saturday. I'm cranky. I haven't slept, and all these different emotions. And so immediately what I did was I went on Google Flights. I found another flight on Southwest, and it was $200. And in my mind, I'm looking at this and I'm like, am I really going to spend $200 on this flight? I thought about that for like a brief second. And immediately I walked over and I was like, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to spend an extra $200 despite knowing I'm going to lose the money on my flight from Fort Lauderdale to Tampa. I'm going to spend the extra $200 to get on a Southwest flight that was leaving literally in 40 minutes and got me home at like 7:50 in the morning. Now, some of you might be like, wow, that must be nice to be able to just spend $200 and blow that away. But for me, that's not the point. The point is the value that I place on time. So it ended up being a difference of 4 hours because the flight actually got delayed another hour after mine, after it was originally planned. So it got delayed. So I would have arrived 4 hours later. Now, some people go, well, was it really worth $200 for that 4 hours? And that got me thinking, right? It got me thinking a lot about the value that people place on their time. And for me, it was probably an emotional tie into this. But I had two very, very close friends who recently lost their dog. One, their dog was 17 years old, which is incredible. It means it lived an amazing life, very long life. but he recently lost his dog. And the other one was about 13. Again, an amazing life. And I thought about it and I was like, if I were to ask them, literally, if I were to ask them, would you pay $50 for another hour with your dog? Without hesitation, I guarantee you they would both say yes. Just $50. It's just money, right? It's a piece of paper. $50 to spend another hour with your dog. And for me, that's how I value time. Like, I looked at that and I was like, that's 4 hours that I spent, and I made sure, and this is going to be the main point, that was quality time spent with Scoot. Like, I literally got home, we snuggled for a little bit, then I took him to a dog park, got him to play, and then we went on and out and started shopping and took him to lunch and all that fun stuff. And you might think I'm crazy. You might literally think, like, this kid's out of his mind. But in essence, like, I would pay $50 for a quality hour of time with my dog. And I think what happens is people so often devalue how they spend their time that they don't think of it in that terms. And that's really what I want to do with today's episode, is shift your mindset and say, I think people are looking at this, and some people still might be hearing me and say, you're crazy for wanting to spend 50 hours. But I think that's because people don't know the difference between time and quality time. They don't know the difference between being fully present versus just being there. And so I think a lot of times, like, I made sure, because I committed and said I spent $200, which ended up being an extra $50 per hour that I was with him, that was the highest quality time that I could ever spend with him. I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't distracted. It was 4 hours locked in with him and, of course, my parents as well. But people don't think about that. You don't think about how important that time is, or being fully present, until it's no longer there, right? Like I said, I would ask my friends if they would spend $50 to get an hour back with their dog that had just passed, and I guarantee you, people listening to this, you would too. Like, you would spend $50 to have a loved one or someone back, but we don't think about that because we take time for granted. And that's the biggest thing that I hope that people come away with this is money, paper, whatever you want to do it, like, that will come and go. What won't is time. And it's the thing that all of us have that's the absolute same. Each and every one of us, doesn't matter if you're black, white, green, red, female, male, transgender, gay, whatever you are, everyone has 24 hours in a day. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you're doing. We all have the same 24 hours. It's how you spend that 24 hours that matters. So for me, I look at it as every single moment I try and spend with someone, and it's not like I'm perfect. This isn't something that I do well 100% of the time, but I'm actively conscious of it. If I'm with someone, I am trying to be all 100% there. Like, sure, there's a million things going on in my mind. There's a million pieces going on, but oftentimes we wait until it's too late. And you're like, I would give anything. I wish I had just one more hour. I wish I just had, and trust me, I was one of those people. I had that same concept with my grandmother. Like, there's so many things I wish I could have said to her, so many different things I wish I could have experienced with her. And it's always like I wish, what if I could have? And the problem is, you have that time. Like, you literally have that time. It's not like I have a ton of money to be able to be like, oh, I can just throw $200. It's like, no, like, I'm willing to commit an extra $50 an hour to make sure I'm home with him, to make sure I'm spending quality time. And so that's the biggest difference. And I hope people take that away, is that the value you put on your time is very, very important. And I think we're so used to wasting our time. I think we're so used to wasting it and devaluing what time is really worth until we don't have it anymore. And I really hope I can shift some perspective and offer that like, time is a finite resource. We don't have an unlimited amount of it. At some point, each and every one of us, our clock is up. And at that moment, you have to look back and say, the time that I did have, did I spend it the way I wanted to spend it? Or did I try and wait, procrastinate, think that I had this unlimited amount of time, and then it's not until it's too late or some serious crisis or something happens that you look back and wish that you had more of it. And so that's what I challenge you guys to do is, financial or money aside, Analyze your day-to-day. Analyze the time that you're spending with people, but not only the time, the quality of that time. Like when you're with a loved one, when you're with someone you care about, are you on your phone half the time? Are you even present in the moment? Are you fully there? And if not, really try and reanalyze that and go, I'd rather spend 1 hour with my parents or Scoot that is fully 100% dedicated than 4 hours with them. I know that might sound crazy to some of you, but 4 hours with them distracted isn't as good as one hour all in focused. You have my full undivided attention. I'm fully present in the moment. Because I think so many people become distracted and have so many things going on that you're giving 10% over 4 hours when you could be giving 100% for 1 hour. It's the same way I approach relationships. It's the same way I try and approach business. I think so many people are distracted in business that they're giving 20, 30, 40, 50%. And it's the reason why in every company I have, I don't say you have to be here at 9, you have to leave at 5. I say whatever you have to be here for, whatever it takes for you to get your job done. And for whatever you do to make sure that you go home fulfilled and make sure that whatever you're doing, you're happy doing, and that you know that you accomplished something today. I don't care if that takes 3 hours. I don't care if that takes 13 hours. Whatever it takes, you're the ultimate determiner of that. I'm sure you can get it done in 5, but if you procrastinate, you're on your phone, you're texting, you're on Facebook, you're checking messages, it's going to probably take you 12. So whatever it takes, that's what you need to look at, and that's what you need to analyze. And so I challenge you guys. This is my challenge here, episode 99. Analyze your time. What is your time worth? What is an hour of your time worth, or what is an hour of time worth with a loved one worth to you? And think about that. Think about all of the money you would spend. God forbid something happens to a loved one or something you care about. Think of how much money you would spend just to have an hour back with them. Now think about this. You're saving that money because they're still here, and you can spend that hour with them if you just give them your full undivided attention. And I think so many people lose sight of that, and so many people just discount their time and understand that, like, you have it. It's right here. It's in front of you. You're living it. You're listening to this podcast right now, and after you're done listening to this, you're going to have several hours to go do something. Whether you're listening to this at work, whether you're listening to this on the weekend, whether you're listening to this when you're at home at night. If you have a family, you have friends, you have a loved one, right now you have time. You have time. You might not have an infinite amount of money or resources. Cool. What do you have? You have time. Use that time wisely and spend it with the ones that you care about. Spend it making quality time and making memories, making things that will last far, far beyond anything that money can buy. And so I really, truly hope that that resonates with some of you and understand, like, yeah, I was willing to spend $50 an hour to spend time with my son, aka Scoot, because for me it was something that was important. In the same weekend, I had 2 friends who lost their dogs, and in my mind, I'm like, God forbid something would ever happen to him. Would I spend $50 for an hour back with him? You're damn right I would. I absolutely would, because I care so much about him. And I was like, you know what? I haven't seen him in a week. I need quality time. And so I spent the extra $50 an hour to be back with him. But I made sure that when I was back with Scoot, that it was quality time. It wasn't distracted. I wasn't on my phone checking Instagram, scrolling through Facebook, seeing what's up on the news. No, it was focused quality time. And I know deep down, even though he can't talk to me, even though sometimes I think he can, that he knew that and he appreciated that. Because for me, that moment, that's Saturday morning we spent together, it's something I'll always remember. I could lose $200, something could happen tomorrow, and all that money could go, but that memory will never go. And so please do me a favor, analyze your day-to-day, analyze your time, analyze your worth and the worth of the ones that you love. Never take that for granted. Make sure you're appreciating their time. Every single moment that they give you, understand that that's value. And it doesn't matter. It's difficult to put a value on time, but understanding that it's a finite resource and eventually it will run out. And when you look back at the end of your journey, you want to make sure that you maximized every single second of that life. So with that being said, guys, I hope you have something to take away from this episode. I appreciate all of your guys' love and support. I can't believe it's been 99 episodes, and I feel like we're just getting started. I'm super excited. We're getting rolling. So many people, so much great feedback just from all over the world. And I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in to the podcast every week. I appreciate all of you subscribing and leaving reviews and comments. That means the world with me, and sharing with your friends and family. Because I promise you, like, you thought the first 99 episodes were good. I promise you 100 and on is going to be absolutely incredible. So thank you guys for being a part of this. Thank you guys for listening to What the Fat. So many exciting things in store. Can't wait to share that with you guys. So with that being said, guys, appreciate you guys. Love you. Make positivity louder. I'll talk to you guys soon.